What is going on, everybody? It is Robert here with the Back Satchel Hunters. I figured I would just do a quick brief video. Nothing too intense, nothing too in-depth, but I've had a lot of people here lately asking the question, what is your favorite, boxers or underwear or base layer, I guess, for early season, mid-season. I'll tell you what, I found something that worked 3 years ago, and I've been wearing it not just throughout, early, mid, late season. I'll be honest, I wear it right now, if you're getting all personal, all day, every day. And that is the First Lite Wick 150s. Of course, I wear the long boxer brief version. These things have a 10-inch inseam on them, which is awesome because it's designed to be long enough to kind of engage at the bottom of your quad and not ride up like most boxer briefs are notorious for doing. So yeah, I just figured, when you get down to it, anything touching your skin needs to be merino wool, at least in my opinion. Merino tends to, biggest thing is it doesn't grow bacteria, or bacteria can't grow in it, so it doesn't smell. It wicks moisture very good, but a really big thing that it can accomplish that a lot of other things can't with synthetics and other, especially cotton. Don't even touch cotton, cotton kills. But one thing that it does is regulate temperature. Like I say, I wear this stuff year round. So, it's, of course, today's one of the first days it's been in the 60s, 70s in a while. It's usually in the 80s, 90s, 100s around here. And it still works great. Most people hear the word wool and they kind of, they turn the other cheek and they want to run and hide. They think it's itchy and it's hot. But it's actually one thing that naturally can regulate temperature throughout hot and cold stuff. Anyways, so I've got a new pair the other day. It's like the 4th pair of these I've got. So I guess I'll do like a little unbagging video here. If I can do it without tearing this glue off this plastic. Of course, these are just the First Lite Wick 150. Of course, a lot of guys prefer to wear this for early to mid-season. I mean, like I say, when you get down to it, this stuff works great when it's below freezing or above 100 degrees, really, because merino wool helps to be essentially, I guess, a thermoregulating type thing. But yeah, just nice. A really nice thing about these, of course, they are merino wool. Of course, this is the cipher camo pattern. So they utilize the merino, and of course, I don't know, and I guess on here, of course, if you're looking at content, 65% merino wool, 33% nylon, 2% spandex. Where that nylon and spandex comes into play is what they're calling their the 37.5 Kokona Natural Technologies, a little tag they got on here. That's the little bit of synthetics that are blended with the merino to help wick. Merino in itself is a standalone fabric, and people correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but merino in itself is awesome. I mean, it's a hair, it's natural. It will wick and it will regulate temperature. However, synthetics do tend to dry quicker than merino. That's kind of where anything that touches skin from head to toe that I wear is going to be merino wool. Next layer, insulative layers, and outer layers are always synthetic. Of course, the most outermost being water resistant or DWR treated of some type. But as far as from head to toe, I'm wearing merino. It may be different grades now. I wear this 150 because it's easy to add a base layer like a 200 or 300 grain merino or synthetic over that, but I don't want to be burning up with some super heavy boxer. So the 150s have been great. A nice thing about these versus some of the earlier versions, and you might be able to tell here, they do have like a ventilated stretchy mesh section that goes throughout the entire inner leg, so through the crotch area, from side to side, which obviously is going to help with ventilation, but also, I mean, these things have an awesome range of motion, super stretchy in every direction. And as I mentioned, these things year round, day after day. We've wore these hunting elk in the bighorns last year. I wore them 2 years ago when I was just wearing them for hunting. In Montana, it was in the teens, super heavy winds, a bit of snow and rain. And these, usually with a 210 zip off Kuiu base layer is what I run. And this and like a Wicks shirt for the upper layer. It's kind of essentially like your base layer of underwear. You don't take that off, but you always layer above it. These things weigh like 4 ounces a pair, so if you pack a spare pair in your pack, that's awesome. It's not going to eat up a lot of weight, being at only 4 ounces. And that a nice thing about merino versus synthetics and polyester, it doesn't grow bacteria. Of course, it obviously, like I say, it regulates temperature really well. It breathes really well, and it dries, it wicks. So this stuff does not smell. Unlike synthetics now, if you got, some people love it, and if you're going for 2 or 3 days, rock and roll with some synthetic base layers or boxers. But for myself, as much as I sweat and as much as I don't know, I don't like packing unnecessary weight. So I've wore a pair of these for somewhere in the 5 to 7 day range, and people think it's gross, I guess, but you can do the smell test. They do not smell, versus a synthetic upper shirt or synthetic boxers or base layer. They tend to smell. Even a mid layer will smell after a few days, because bacteria naturally is going to grow in a synthetic type of material. So anyways, random rambling video. Just bored and had a brand new pair of these Wick 150 long boxers come in, so I figured I would just kind of throw them out there. A lot of people have been talking about it, and you get all, your mileage may vary. These have been awesome for me. I think my buddies wear the same ones. And I mean, you can get them in a solid. I got black and I got cipher colors. The camo's $5 more, but it's whatever's in stock usually for me. I don't really care. I do know they do fit true to size. I wear a large in these, and they're like, they're not tight, they're not baggy. They're just, I guess, a comfortable snug, if that makes sense. They do not ride up. That's a huge thing for me. Most workout boxers will ride up. So if I wear like polyester or some type of a synthetic, like when we would hike and train around here when it's a lot hotter here than it was where we were hunting out west, those things would tend to ride up and just drive me crazy, because I usually always have massive quads, whether I've been working out or not. My upper leg is pretty hefty in diameter, and that was always an issue with most. But with these having a 10-inch inseam rather than the standard 6 or 8, this one, I've never had a pair of these ride up, even after 10-20 miles of hiking with a pack on, even with a base layer above that. So yeah, random rambling video, but I will do my big thumbs up for the First Lite, the Wick 150. And of course, they call them the long boxer brief, I guess, if you want to glance at the old tag there. But yeah, nice merino next to skin layer, at least for one section, and they work year round. So that's what I got today. Again, as I've mentioned in other videos, if you guys have any particular product or item or, I don't know, tip or trick you would like to have discussed or mentioned, we may disclose some places we hunt or whatever. I don't know. No, if you got any, anything like that you'd like to know, just feel free to drop it in the comments. Shoot us a private message, whatever. If it's something we can do, we'd be glad to help out. But as always, thanks for watching, and stick with us. See you next time.